now. So this is the apron that folks who are Stencil of the Month Club members get when they enroll and prepay for 6 months at a time. So if you are considering doing that, go ahead and pay. You get like a 20% discount on the actual membership, and then you get this sweet little, it's very customizable, the size of it, little apron. So thank you for joining me. I'm just gonna make sure that I'm live. Let me just check on that real quick, and then once I know that I'm live, I'll get started. So hang tight, I'm just checking on my iPad here. Hold on, folks. We're gonna do a giftaway. We do 3 stencil sets giftaway during the lives, Monday through Thursday, for Essential Stencil. So that's what I'm gonna do today. So when you're here, make sure that you say hi, because I need to know that you're here in order to have you in that giftaway to earn a chance for the giftaway. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna use. I have had this board in my craft room for a very long time. It's just like a hollowed out board that I bought. I'll show you the back of it. I don't remember where I bought it. I'll show you the back because I know somebody's gonna ask. That's what the back of it looks like. Oh, let's see. That's not a very good camera angle. There we go, SPC. It just came from a craft store. So that I'm going to be using that, and then I'm using the Hearts Come From Craft deals, and I have 3 different sizes of the hearts. This is what they look like when you get them. They're very, very deep. They're about 1 inch wide, and they can stand up on their own if you just want to have them as a shelf sitter. I'm using 3 smaller ones on this sign, and I'm going to paint, and stencil. So I hope you guys are looking forward to just watching me paint. I'll give you some paint tips as I go and stenciling tips. Hey, Teresa in Minnesota, and there's Billy from Mississippi. Thanks for joining in. So glad to have you. Let me see, you know, I played with this camera angle a bunch before I got on, and that's actually, if I was a minute late, that's the reason why. I was trying to get this camera angle really in good shape for you guys, but I'm struggling with it, so hang tight. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Luella, what a pretty name. Hello, Luella. Give me a chance here, guys. I'm gonna try to lift you up a little higher. Oh my goodness, I can't reach. Short girl problems. I'm a little short, so I'm struggling with the reach. I don't know, I can't get it. I can't reach it, you guys. Hang tight. Keep saying hello when you guys come on. There's Nicole in Missouri. Hello, Nicole. And Dawn, hello, hello. Weak and short, it's a bad combination. I can paint, but I'm very weak and I'm very short. All right, here we go. I'm gonna lift you up a little higher there. All right, so that you can see the project better. It's still morning. Yes, Rose, good morning. I do have a cup of coffee with me, thankfully. This is probably like my 8th cup. Is that a problem? It's not a problem for me. I hope I have some fellow coffee drinkers in the house. Good morning, new at all this and trying to learn. Welcome, Pat. I'm so glad to have you on board. Welcome to the Comfy Nest. Have you been to the Comfy Nest page before? If you haven't, welcome. So happy to have you. Hey, Cynthia. There's Cynthia and those girls. And there's Maria and Kathy. Hello, 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 Linda. If you guys are willing, we'd love to have you do this. This helps us to just get to know other new people who have never met the Comfy Nest or Essential Stencils before. But I'm gonna get started with painting. So I'm gonna put the camera down. Oh, let me show you real quick. Here are the colors I'm working with. Dixie Belle has these beautiful pinks. This one's called Soft Pink, and this one's called, I say peony. Is it peony or peony? As if you could type that in where I would understand it. I hear people say peony, and I hear people say peony. Either way, it's a really pretty, pretty color pink. Do you see it? So these are the 2 pinks. They're the same pinks that I used in that one that I did. The same pinks, and I'm using black. I'm a fan of the black, the pink, and the white. Sharita says, drinking coffee all day. XOXO, girlfriend. Dion says, I'm vertically challenged. I love that. Me too. I'm horizontally challenged too. If I want to be honest about it, I'm horizontally challenged too. Deb says, I've had too much coffee. She has a buzz. I think I do too. I get all nervous before I come on. Not about being on with you guys. It's fantastic to hang out with you and have both the girls and the guys on board for painting and stenciling, because those are the things that I love. But I get nervous about the technology, like the stand not working or the feed not working properly. So if I'm nervous, it's about that stuff. Good morning, Susan in North Carolina, and Tammy from Texas. Hello, hello, Melissa. Maria's planning on stenciling today. Anybody else planning on stenciling? Let us know that. If you're new, comment #new. I like to go back and go through comments after the live and try to like just give a shout out and a welcome to those folks who are new. So give me a #new so that I know that. Those of you who are returning and who are loyal, thank you. Thank you for coming back again. Thank you for doing your part if you are sprinkling the love out there. So appreciate that, because it just is a really good way for me to be introduced to really your friends and family who might be interested in the same things and who might get value from some of the lives that I do, some of the lives that Essential Stencil has going on. Hey, Linda, there's Barbara in Minnesota. And Deb is here. And hello, Mimi. She's feeding grandbabies. Lovely. Thank you, Mary, for sprinkling. Thank you, Joanne. You guys are awesome. Ellen says, tea plus grace plus crafting equals a good morning. Oh, thank you, Ellen. I give you my heart. I didn't paint this side, you guys. You can see the messy side. Let me show you what I'm doing. Let's get to crafting. Hello, Leona in Alabama, who says coffee is a must. I do have a big thing of water here too. I just don't drink from it as often. All right, I'm gonna put the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. I'll show you. Oh, wait a minute. Before I do that, here are your discounts for today. Whoa, that's an extreme close-up. Okay, here are the discounts for today. Generally, when I'm working with the Essential stencils, you'll always get 10% off if you go to their website and use my code, The Comfy Nest. You'll get 10% off anything that you order. They are taking pre-orders right now for the brush set that has been out of stock for so long, but they're taking pre-orders. Again, you can get 10% off if you pre-order these using my code or my link. I gave you the link in the description of this. I'm going to take my brushes out now because I'll need them. But here are the stencils that you can get an extra 20% off today. If you order these stencils by midnight, you will get an extra 20% off. So a 30% off discount if you order these by midnight. So I'm using this one today, the Buffalo Check mini set. So this is the 8x8, and it comes with 3 different buffalo checks. It comes with a medium one, a smaller one, and a bigger one. So it is 3 different sizes, which I'm going to use. I think I'm going to use 2 of them today. So you'll get to see those in action. This, if you order the mini, this is called the Be My Valentine tags, 30% off until midnight, and the Valentine truck tags, 30% off until midnight. And I don't know about you guys, I like today on the I love you to the moon and back. For my heart, I'm going to put it on. I don't want to fit the whole thing. I think it's going to be too crowded. So I'm just going to use the I love you. And I feel like that's evergreen. Like we can use that. You can make cards with that. You can send a birthday card to somebody and stamp that on the back or stencil that onto the back of their card that they get in the mail, the envelope, you know. So I love using the stencils even if they're out of season. So you buy the Valentine set. I mean, the truck with the hearts, I think you can use that year round. It doesn't just have to be for Valentine's Day, or do what Sharon did yesterday and just tape off the hearts and use your truck. And it's a little one. It's so sweet. Let's see. How big is this truck? From end to end, the truck is less than 4 inches long. So it's a great little size for decorating little things. This would be really cute on a onesie. As a matter of fact, with the I love you underneath, that would be really cute. Okay, anyway, I digress. Good morning, Dorothy. She says, good morning, Melissa from Arizona. I'm Grace. You're here with Grace today, Dorothy, unless you're saying hello to a Melissa who is another guest. This is Grace from the Comfy Nest today. Hey, Stephanie in Michigan. Tammy says, my stencil of the month was just delivered. Woohoo! Hello in Wisconsin, Miss Bonnie. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here. Regina, thank you for sharing. Thank you, you guys, for doing that for me. I so appreciate it. Working with Essential Stencils today. Let me get the camera angle down so you can see what I'm doing. Let's do it. I hope this isn't too low for you. My project is smaller today, so I'm hoping that because it's smaller, you'll be able to see. Okay, that'll work. I like to get you guys close in. I've already been painting, so you can see my craft mat is a little bit of a mess. I am going to stencil on top of these, but before I do, I have these 3 hearts. They're 3 different sizes. Okay, and what I want to do, let me see, gotta get this camera angle better for you guys. What I want to do is I want to put these 3 hearts on my board. going up and down the board. Okay, so this is my plan. Smaller, I know you're not even gonna be able to see this because the hearts are black and the board is black, but I got a plan. Okay, so I'm gonna do smallest to biggest, and I'm gonna stencil on everything. But these, I painted these black, not the backs because nobody's gonna see them, but I painted the tops black because I want to distress these with some pink on them. So I'm gonna be covering over this. So this is a little like lesson in painting and distressing. I'm gonna paint over these now with the pinks that I picked. So I've got the Dixie Belle pinks here that I just love. One is called Peony, I don't know, Peony, and the other one is Soft Pink. I love these colors. I love pink. I told you guys I live with all boys and they don't care what I put up on the walls. So because I live with all boys, I need a lot of pink in my life to remind me how girly I am. I just love pink. Okay, so I'm gonna do 3 different colors, and I think I'm gonna do the top one with the lightest color. Oh, think about this. So I really, I almost had a plan. I think I kind of wanted it to look ombre. So I'm gonna do the small one. I'm gonna do in the lightest color. I only have 2 colors here. I have light pink and I have really dark pink, which I love. And I don't want the sides. I want the sides to remain black. So I'm just going to paint the tops. And so what I do to try to avoid getting on the edges is when I stroke this with my paintbrush, I'm gonna go from the middle out so that my paintbrush flecks outward. Instead of, if I come back this way, I will get paint on there. And I don't want that. So I go from the middle out when I'm painting, and I don't wanna get the sides pink, or whatever color you're working with. If you want the sides to remain that color, see, I'm trying to avoid getting any pink on the sides. I mean, it's not the end of the world. This is gonna look kind of scruffy, and I'm gonna distress these. I need to put a nice coat of pink on here because I want them to be pink. I want the edges to be black, and I'm going to distress the edges of this so that it kind of matches my board, and I'll show you what I mean by that here in a second. So let me just get a nice coat of pink on this so I can get it to start drying. Now, to try, I don't want to see any brush strokes here, so I'm just going to go over it again very lightly with the brush so that I get rid of any unsightly brush strokes. There. That's just what I wanted. Now, I'm going to try to get, oh, I missed a little spot here on the bottom. I'm going to try to get these to match the format of them to match my board, and my board is black, but the edges are distressed so that the natural wood shows through. I want these to be pink, but I want the edges to be a little black, and I will distress them in a little while. Now, I'm doing the bottom one in the lightest color, or the top one in the lightest color, the bottom one, which is the biggest, in the darkest color. So I'm gonna go in now. Let me take my little, this is what I use for my black. I'm gonna take my paintbrush and I'm just gonna get some of that light pink off of there. It doesn't have to be perfect because I don't mind a little bit of light pink in there, but I'm just, and you know, see, you can see it's a dirty pail of water here because I already got my black brush in there. But I try to get most of that pink off, and then I come in with a rag and get the water off there because I want this one to be the darkest pink, and then this one is gonna be in the middle. It's gonna be a combination of the dark pink and the light pink. Ooh, isn't that pretty? Who loves the colors? I mean, who loves pink? And let me see, I'm gonna see if I can find your comments. There we go, there are some comments. Maria says, pretty. Sherry says, super cute. Okay, so see, you can see brush strokes. I may end up having to do 2 coats on this one, but it just, I'm trying to get a lot of paint on there so then I can go to my edges and go outward, so I don't try to avoid getting any of that pink on the sides. I want the sides to be black. So these are going to kind of look 3-dimensional because they're thick. These are meant to be shelf sitters. They can kind of stand on their own. That's how Craft Deals made them, so that they can stand on their own. If you can balance them, girls, it's too much coffee. They'll stand on their own like as a shelf sitter, but I'm going to tack them onto my board here. You can glue them, and if you use wood glue, you don't have to then use a brad nailer or nail brad, whatever you call it. Like I use like a staple gun with brads in it to affix this to my boards. But if you use wood glue, you probably wouldn't need to do both. I'm just going to use the brads because I kind of think that if I want to pop these hearts off someday and recycle them or reuse them, I get bored of my decorations and I change them up a lot. Uh-oh. I just could feel the way the brush went. I got some on the side. I could just feel it. Not the end of the world. Just gonna brush it off there with my rag. Okay, so I can see a lot of brush strokes in here. They're easier to see. And I don't want to see a lot of brush strokes. I'm gonna go over these. They're gonna get stenciled with something else, of course. We're gonna stencil the truck on one. We're gonna stencil the I love you on another. But I wanna get rid of as much of those unsightly brush strokes as possible. So I go across the length very lightly. I'm just trying to, if you push too hard, you get more of that brush stroke is what I'm trying to avoid. All right, I'm gonna probably have to come back to that and give it another coat. Let's work on the middle one. The middle one, this middle one, I want it to be in the middle. I don't want it this light and I don't want it this dark. So I have to create my own little color here to get the ombre effect. So what I'm gonna do is, how can I do this? Where's my tin foil? You guys know I like to use tin foil as my like paint palette. So I usually fold it in half. I'm gonna move these two out of the way so I have a little more room to work here. I usually fold this in half and then reuse it, but I'm gonna put a little bit of both of these paint colors on here and try to come up with a color that's in the middle. It's gonna be a little bit dark pink, it's gonna be a little bit light pink. Now I don't wanna put this dark pink in that light pink color, so I'm just gonna take one of my plastic spatulas. I got these at the dollar store. It comes in a pack of 3. And I'm just gonna take some of this paint and put it on here so I can come up with a middle color. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm trying to come up with ombre, so I'm gonna use the 2 colors that I have to come up with a color that's in the middle. A little bit light, a little bit dark. I think I want it a little lighter than that even. Ooh, I'm such a sloppy crafter. See, I got it on my craft mat. I don't want that there because I don't want it getting on anything else. All right, here we go. I want to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Thank you for sharing, all of you who shared. At the end of this, I'm going to give away 3 sets of stencils from Essential Stencil. So stay on board. Make sure that you say hello. Let us know where you're coming in from. If you're new to the Comfy Nest, type in #new so that we know that. Okay, so the key here is making sure you have enough of that color for the piece that you're doing, which is the medium-sized heart. So here's my dark. I'm showing you the color difference. There's my dark and here's my light, and I wanted it in the middle, so I think I achieved that. Okay, I just mixed the 2 paint colors together. Now I'm gonna come in on my board, my heart here, and get this one. We're looking for a little bit of an ombre effect here. But the trick is you need to have enough of that paint. So if I needed to come back into a second coat, gosh, I either have to recreate this color again or make sure that I had mixed enough in the first place so that I can just come in and touch up what I need to touch up. Easy breezy, right? I'm just covering this up. While this is drying, while these hearts are drying, now I'm trying to get some of those brush strokes to go away. These have to dry completely before I can distress the edges. So there we go, that's done. I'm gonna stick this in water because do I need the pink right now? I don't think I do. I'm gonna put this in water. I will go back to it later. I will use it again probably because I might put another coat. I'm gonna put this aside. I'm gonna work on the board now and I'm going to use some buffalo plaid on the board. So I'm gonna put my pinks aside. This, I'm gonna take the excess and put it back in my pot, and then I'm gonna take this and put it in my bucket of water. I'm gonna cover up my paints so that I don't get any spills anywhere. Are you giving any bonus giveaways today? No, Kathy, we are not. I think they're gonna try to do that once a week on one of the lives. Thank you, Joyce Ann, for sharing the love. Joyce Ann, thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, let me put my hearts aside. I'm gonna let those dry. I'm gonna end up using 2 different, here are the 3 different sizes that come with this mini set. You get the smallest, you get the biggest size, and you get this medium size buffalo plaid or buffalo check. On the board, I'm gonna use the biggest one, and I think I'm gonna use the smallest one later on one of the hearts. I kind of have a plan, and I'm just, you guys just have to go with it, because, you know, so, here's the thing. Let me just look at you for a minute, and let's just talk. Let's have a little talk here. a lot of times I have a plan, but then I change my mind. Does that happen to any of you? Do you ever like get in on your project and you start and you have a plan in mind and then, now that I'm doing it, I think I don't like this, so I'm going to do it differently. So that, I think I'm just asking you to just be patient with me as I make up my mind. I have a plan. I'm using all of these stencils, and all of the stencils will not change because you are going to get 30% off until midnight tonight. What? 30% off until midnight tonight on those 3 sets that I'm using today. So I'll use all 3 of them, but I may change the way I'm doing it. You guys, we have 250 viewers. Holy schmoly. Thank you for coming, you guys. Just be you. Thank you for being here. If you're new to the Comfy Nest, type in #new so I can make sure to give you a big shout out and say hello. Tammy says, always, it's my ad, ADD. Oh, her ADD, not ad. Sprinkle the love. I love you guys doing giveaways. Good, Joylyn. I'm so glad. Who's that? Now, let me see. Joylene. Joylene, what a pretty name. Beth, always when I'm working on my own stuff, right? You change your mind, right? All right, let's get down and I'm gonna start buffalo plaiting this base of this board. And for this part, I think I'm gonna lift you up a little higher if I can, because the board is a little bit bigger. So here's the problem. I can't get a good enough grip. I think, you guys, I'm just seriously weak because I have to get a good grip on this, and it's like a lever that you have to turn, and I just can't do it. Weakling. Oh gosh, my sister gave me a little sign that said Hot Mess Express, but I think what I really need is a t-shirt. Because that's really, I need to own up and live that life. All right, I'm picking you up a little bit. Sorry for the bad angles, you guys. I'm trying to get you in there so you can see better. I'm gonna use the stencil brush. I'm gonna use, so it comes in 4 sizes. These, if you pre-order them, you'll get 10% off. They're going to be available in like a couple of weeks. But they're taking pre-orders on these. They come in 4 different sizes. I like this size and I use this size a lot. The big one's real big. This is great for those vertical porch signs, but I'm gonna use this one, the 3/4. Love the handles on these. They're so smooth. Okay, I am going to, and I was debating, you guys, whether to use the pinks on the background, but instead, I'm just gonna do a black and a white. So I've been trying to use up this pot of paint. It's almost out. It's called Debbie's DIY and it's called White Swan. It doesn't matter what white you use. Just get a white paint. Honestly, girls, it doesn't, and guys, it doesn't really matter. I need to create my land of offload is what I call it. And I was laughing the other day. Somebody posted in the Stencil of the Month Club something about the land of offload. And I was like, yay, they're using my term. My term, the land of offload. So here we have a ton of paint on my brush, way too much. It's like a big glop of paint. That's going to be the place where I take and wet my brush. But in the meantime, I need to make sure that my brush is really dry. So I come to the land of offload here on my tin foil. It can be a paper plate, it can be wax paper, whatever you want. Brown paper, you know, like people use brown paper bags or craft paper. You just really want to make sure you have a very dry brush when you start stenciling because you don't want bleed through. I'm not going to tape. I'm just going to hold it. I like this lip on the edge. I like it because it gives me like room for usually the base of my board. I just want to make sure it's centered because this fits almost perfectly and I don't want to have to like redo any of it. And you guys know I like a really scratchy looking buffalo plaid. I don't like it to be perfect. So you see how dry my brush is? You know what, you guys? I like that look a lot. I don't go for full coverage with the buffalo plaid. It's just me. It's just the way I like it. You do whatever you want to do. You do you, as my son says. You do you. I am going to tape this just because I'm nervous about letting it go while I'm trying to talk to you. I like it to look real scratchy. Do you see when you don't have a ton of paint on your brush, you can be more free with the direction that your brush goes? See, I can go in circles, I can go in straight lines. I'm gonna go in the direction, this diagonal on the buffalo plaid. Now, I like to peel it back and just see what's the start of this looking like. See, that's too dark to me. I don't like that much coverage. There's not a whole lot I can do about it right now. I could try to take a little off. Here, I got my rag. I'm gonna put a little bit of water. Let's see if this works. I could try to take a little, yep, I can try to rub a little bit of that off because I don't want it that dark. I want it to look real scratchy looking. Whoops, my rag just fell on the floor. Oh well. Oh well. I want it to look real scratchy. There, that's better. Oh. So hold down with your left hand. I'm a righty, so I'm going to hold down with the left hand, which I didn't do, and that's why that flew all over the place. And paint with your right hand, or vice versa if you're a lefty. And I really like it to look not so filled in. So I have to be really careful. See, this one looks very, I can tell already it's really filled in. Let me, see that? And I want it to be light. All right, so I'm gonna come back in. I gotta add more to my brush. This wood is really grainy. It has a lot of grain to it. So the paint sits in it differently than on a very smooth surface. So that can help determine too, once you get started and you see how the paint reacts to the board, how it works on the board that you're using. That can help determine too, like how much paint you want on your brush, how dark you want your paint to be. I want it to be kind of scratchy and not perfect. So imperfect is imperfectly perfect. That's what I like. And you know what? It gives me a lot of freedom to make mistakes. I'll tell you that much. I don't worry about perfection. That's for sure. Going to be super cute. Thanks, Sherry. I hope so. Let me look at some more comments while I drink coffee. I love the rough wood. Marcia says, I love the rough wood. I do too. I like really grainy wood. We just have to remember that when we're working on grainy woods, like Melissa at her sawmill, she uses a lot of natural lumbers that they, you know, cut and hewn and prepare for signs, and they're gorgeous. A lot of you have been ordering from them. I've seen some, oh, I missed one cube up here. 2 cubes, actually. 3. Too excited. Some of the woods that Miller's Rustic Sawmill has, gorgeous, but they do take the paint differently. Okay, can you see how rusty, like, just, it's not perfect. It's just got a lot of variety to it. It's really bright right there, and that's okay. I'm gonna go over it one more time and see if I can spread that out a little bit so it doesn't look like just those 2 or 3 lines are bright. There, that's a little better. Okay, so now to line it up, I'm gonna go all the way down the whole length of this board. To line it up, I'm gonna pull it up, and then I'm gonna use this first row to line up with the last row that I did, so I know that I'm straight. If you line them up perfectly, or as perfect as you can, and perfectly perfect as you can, and then tape your thing down, now I'm gonna start here with the second row. Then it should all be lined up well. It should be lined up just fine. Let's see. 252, Joanne, it's because you guys are so awesome and because you keep sharing. You keep sprinkling the love. And that's just the way Facebook works. So if you guys are willing to share, if you think you have friends and family who might be interested or get value from what we're doing, then what happens when you share it, it shows on your news feed. And then if you have a friend who pops on and they open it because they're like, hey, what's this crazy girl doing? So they open it up and then they start viewing it. Then if they share it, it's just like, it's awesome because it really, like I said, organically introduces me and the Comfy Nest to your friends and family and to their friends and family. So it's a really powerful, you guys have a lot of power when it comes to Facebook. You really do. You have a lot of power, and Facebook wants interaction. They want people chatting. They want people talking and sharing. So thank you for doing that. Joyce says, this looks hard, not as easy as other projects. In what way, Joyce? Tell me. This is just, I'm still just using the buffalo plaid. I use the buffalo plaid all the time, you guys. I don't know if you've noticed. There's a Christmas collection that has the deer head and the large buffalo plaid. I do use that one, but I tend to use these 8x8s a lot because I love me some buffalo plaid. All right. Easy breezy, right? I'm not loving the way this one looked. I think I have a fingerprint there actually. So I'm gonna put this back down just to protect my cubes around it, my little blocks around it, and I'm gonna fix that because that's my fingerprint. There. I stippled because I wanted it to be darker right there to cover up my fingerprint. So I'd use the up and down motion to really darken that a little bit. I love that this is like all rustic and scratchy looking. The board itself is like that because the board, if you see the edges, are all very distressed. And so I wanted the whole thing to kind of mimic that look of distressed. All right, so you see how little, I did go in one more time to get more paint for my paintbrush, but you can see you don't really use a whole lot of paint when you're stenciling. You really don't. And this paint, look at how old and crusty this jar is. It is so thick, I couldn't pour it out. Look at it, won't pour out. It's that thick. So this thick paints are just perfect for stenciling because the thicker it is, the less bleed through you'll have. If you have thin paint or wet paint, or if you have a brush that's wet and it mixes in with your paint, you're gonna have a greater chance of bleed through because of the wetness. I'm in the land of offload and I'm really just in a circular motion working that paint up into my brush so that as I use it, it comes down, and with the pressure that I apply, I can get either more paint or less paint onto my surface. The harder I press, the more I get. And if you stipple, like I can make this section a little darker just by stippling it, by going up and down motion. I love the brushes. I am a huge fan too of using makeup wedges, but on bigger projects, when you do have bigger projects, it's faster if you use the brushes. So if you're a sign maker and you're making signs for gifts, or you're making signs for, like you're going to a craft show or a vendor event and you want to make 15 of these, get the brushes, use the brushes, order them, pre-order them, get 10% off using my link. Because they just make it faster. Obviously, the bigger your brush, the faster you'll go too. But since my sign, like I'm kind of using the minis, I'm using the mini tags and I'm using the smaller buffalo plaid, I just stuck with the smaller brush. See, I don't want it that dark. But now I have to like follow suit and kind of make it match itself. If one part's darker, I feel like I gotta follow suit there. All right, let's see. Let's peel this back. I use the hinge method. I'm gonna keep this tape on here so that it stays exactly where it is. I'm gonna hinge this back. I love it. I absolutely love it. What do you guys think of this? I'm very curious. I'm all done with that, so I'm gonna put that aside. And let me pick this up for a minute so you can see the whole thing in its entirety. This is the base of my sign, but now the hearts are gonna go on top of this. Let me see, I'm gonna see for comments. I have to break out the check and just try it. Keep putting it off. Oh, Christy, I'm not even sure what you're talking about. I work from home, so I'm trying to watch and work. Good for you. Do you stain the board black or regular paint? And did you sand the edges? The board came like that. I bought it. It was black and it was distressed when I bought it. I bought it at a craft store. I mean, I've had it for a year almost. I don't even know where I got it, you guys. I'm trying to use up what I got. I'm trying to use up what I have in my room here. Don says, I love your projects. You have so many great ideas. Please keep the amazing ideas and tips coming. Yay, thank you for that feedback. That means a lot to me. Thank you for saying that. It gives us the encouragement to keep doing what we're doing. Okay, take a look. This is my scratchy buffalo plaid. I love this look. It's not perfect. It looks like, it really has a lot of movement for your eye. Like there's a lot to look at right there. But remember, our hearts are gonna go on top. I'm gonna put these hearts now on top of this. So this is not complete. This is just the background. And like I said, this board came like this. It was black when I got it and it was distressed on the edges when I got it. So thank you. Thank you for all those hearts. Look at that. Hey, thank you, you guys. I love it. Thank you for that. All right, let's get this down. I'm gonna show you my hearts and I like to get you guys close up to the project so you can see. I'm gonna put this aside for a minute. And I'm done with that. That's pretty much the way I want it. Here's my hearts. Let's take a look at them. They're dry by now. These paints, this paint is a, let's see, it's a chalk mineral paint and they tend to dry pretty quickly. So here are my 3 hearts that are gonna go on the board. Wait, I'm going the wrong way for the camera. Sorry about that. There are my 3 hearts. I think the colors are spot on, right? I mixed the light pink with the dark pink to create that pink, and I think it's spot on. I am going to end up painting, oh, I got one little spot of dark pink on there. What? It's just like a little, do you see it? It's just like one tiny little spot. Well, my plan was to now use the small mini tags. I'm going to use these mini tags, and I'm using both sets. If you order these by midnight tonight, you'll get 30% off the tags and 30% off your buffalo plaid set if you order them by midnight tonight. If you order them afterwards, you can still get a discount. It's going to go down to 10% off. So don't lose that 20%. So my plan, this was my plan. I want to use the I love you on one. I want to use the truck on the bottom one. And then on this one, I was going to do the smaller buffalo plaid. So I just used this buffalo plaid on the base of the board. Now on the small one, I'm going to use this little buffalo plaid. That's why it's nice to have the 3 sizes. The big buffalo plaid would be too big for this heart. I don't like that. I don't like, the scale isn't right for me. You can do whatever you want. I'm not the boss of you. If you like that scale, go for it. But for me, I like these together. And what I'm going to use, so I want it to be light, medium, dark. And because I want this one to be lighter, I'm going to put a little, I think I'm going to use the white. I think I'm going to use the white. Let's just see how this works. I already have white on my brush. I already have white on my little land of offload. And I still have a little bit left there. Now listen. If I end up not liking this, and if you end up not liking this, we can always paint over it. So I don't get too worked up over, you know, I'm making these decisions as I go. I kind of had a plan, but I'm making my decisions as I go. But if I don't like it, I can always change my mind. See that little spot that I don't like, that little hot pink spot? I'm going to make sure that that gets covered with white. So I'm going to make sure that one of the square cubes lands on that somehow so that I can cover that with my white paint, instead of trying to paint pink over it and then try to get that pink there. It's gone. It's gone. My white covered it right up. I could have tried to get my pink out again and fix it, but I figured since I'm already going in here with white, I'll just let the white cover it up. So I'm just going to do the light. What's on my... So the reason I'm using the white is because I want this to stay really light on the ombre. If I go in with one of the darker pinks, then it's going to lose the whole effect of it being the light part of the ombre. Okay, does that make sense to you? Like, yeah, I mean, I hope my thinking is, I can help it make sense to you. That's the reason I'm going with white. So the white is already on the buffalo plaid on the base board. Now I'm adding it to this heart. How many viewers do we have right now? 250. You guys stay on board, because at the end I'm going to pull 3 people and give you guys a free Essential Stencil. You'll get a free one, so there's a chance. Make sure you say hello so I know that you're here, because I'm going to randomly pull from the comments. Okay, I'm going to I have not taped this down, but in the same fashion, I'm going to put my finger on part of it, really strongly pushing down. I'm going to hinge this up. It needs more white. It needs more white because it's so small. This block didn't get colored in at all. This one's hardly colored in. I need to work on these diagonals a little bit. It needs more white so that it shows up. Otherwise, it looks very, very faint. And the whole point is that it show up. So I'm going to stipple a little bit to get some more white coverage. And I'm doing that on the big blocks. And then I need more white paint. It's way, way too much. Way, way, way too much. Go to your land of offload and offload almost all of that. Get a nice dry brush. And then I really am going to focus on the scratchy part, the part that has the diagonals, so that this white shows up. It's going to be really faint, but then the heart has some kind of like uniqueness to it. This one heart that's on the top, and it has its own design element. Remember when I told you, because I want the blacks to stay, the black sides of my hearts, I want them to stay black. So even on this one, if you can see, I want to make sure that you can't see. Make sure that you can see. Even on this one, on the edge here, I have this little like square. Let me see if I can pick this up without messing myself up here. So I can show you this. This little tiny square right there, even on that one, because I don't want to get white on the edges, I'm going to go from the center and I'm moving out. I'm picking it up, center, move out. If I come back with my brush this way, I chance getting some on the edges, on the sides, and I want the edges, the sides to stay black. I don't want them to be. This one's a little trickier because it's on the curve of the heart. This one right here, it's a little trickier. So I'm just gonna go very slowly and try to fill that in without, here, this one, I'm going that way with my brush. All right, I'm gonna hinge this up. Oh, I need to do this one too. The ones on the edge are tricky because it's only part of that circle and it's right on the edge, and I don't wanna get any white on my edges. Now, if I get white on my edges, I can come back in with my black paintbrush and touch it up. So that very well may happen because I am not perfect. You guys, you know, we're brand ambassadors, we represent the company, but we're not perfect either. We have mistakes, we get bleed through. We have to fix things too. So those are good things when that happens live because we can show you that it's not just you. Oh, that shows up way better. Now you can see it way better. Okay, so there we go. It's very faint, and that's what I wanted. Did I get any on my sides? I think I did pretty good. Right there might just be a little bit, but I'm gonna come back in and I'm gonna just stress the edge of these, so hopefully some of that black shows up on the top edges so that it mirrors and mimics what this looks like. That's my goal. Okay, so the pink heart is done. Now we have to stencil these two hearts. And okay, guys, here's where I need some help. My thought was on the dark pink to use the light pink color, this color, and on this medium pink to use the light pink color. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm wondering, should I just use white? What's your opinion? The light pink one has white on it. I'm thinking now that I'm here that I'm gonna use white on all of them so that they're all have the same stencil color on the top. Luella says she likes it. Thank you. Thank you, Melissa. She says, I love this project. I absolutely love it. Thank you. Deborah, right? She says, I love the buffalo print. This set of 3, you guys, it comes with small, medium, and large, all in the one set. It's called the Buffalo Check Set Pack of 3 8x8. It'll be 30% off if you order it by tonight using my link, which is just awesome, right? Okay, I think I'm gonna go with white. What are you guys saying? Yeah, I'm seeing some whites. I'm seeing some white comments. I hate missing your comments, you guys, and I am so far behind. Ron and Becky say pink. Dana says white. Eva says white. Thank you, Deborah. She says, I love your projects. They're so inspirational. If you're getting value from them, guys, and you don't mind, go ahead and hit that share button. If you have a group, like a creative group that you belong to, you could share it in there. You could send it as a message to someone. But the one that'll have the most impact is if you just share it on your timeline so that your friends and family can participate too. Beth says, how did I catch you live? Woohoo! So exciting. Okay, let's just do I'm just going to do the white. I think I'm just going to do the white. I'm not using To the Moon and Back. I'm using I Love You. I love this font. I love the big scrolly at the beginning and at the end. And oh man, I'm a messy crafter. Let's see, I have another rag here. I got a little bit of white paint and I'm going to see if I can get it off. Yeah, it came right off. Okay. This paint job isn't perfect. Can you see that? You can see a little bit here, but I'm okay with it because remember, I'm going to distress it a little bit. I'm going to come in and right in the center of this heart, I'm going to use this beautiful font that says I love you, and I am going to use the white paint. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to reload my brush. I'm going to come to the land of offload here. I'm going to make sure that my brush has lots of paint in it, but then I'm going to offload it. Let's go to a new spot right here. You see how much I'm taking off? And I'm working it into the bristles. But you can see it's very dry. There's no moisture, there's no shininess, there's no wetness there. Okay, this is upside down. And I'm trying to get it in the center. What I love about Essential Stencils, they're thick and hearty. They're really good stencils, easy to clean. But you can see enough through them so that you can line up your designs and see what's going on behind it. Like I can see the edge of my heart. to know if I'm centered or not. Okay, I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna stipple on this one because it's such small letters and I want it to be really bright white. So I do want a little more paint on my brush. I don't want it to be as dry as I was using here on the Buffalo Plaid. I wanted it to look real scratchy and not filled in. But on these words, I don't want it scratchy. I want it really dark white, if that makes any sense. I want the white to really show up. So I'm stippling because I have more paint on my brush and I don't have to worry so much about bleed through when I just go up and down. If I'm going left to right and rubbing up against the edges of these stencils, then you have a chance of bleed through. If you have too much paint on your brush, it's gonna suck underneath there, and that's when you have bleed through. Going up and down, there's just less chance of bleed through. And these brushes can take it. I need a little more paint because I'm running low here. I can feel it. It's not coming out as dark over here, the white, or as bright, I could say. But I want it to be really, really what you see here. There. I'm going to hinge it back. I'm holding very strongly with my left hand, and I'm going to hinge it back with this one. It's perfect. Hold on, it's perfect. Oh, look at. Oh my gosh, you guys, this would make a, so these are shelf sitters. These from Craft Deals. Use my coupon code, you'll get a discount. These are supposed to be shelf sitters, but I'm gonna use them to tack them onto my board. I'm like bending down now. I'm gonna use them to tack them onto my board. But look at how beautiful that came out, right? So you can see the white on the light pink is harder to see. It's more faint. That's why I did the Buffalo Plaid on this one, because it's softer and less contrast. I think it's going to compete less with the Buffalo Plaid that I already have. So this one I did the Buffalo Plaid on. This one, look at how great that turned out. Isn't that a gorgeous? It's just such a pretty font, you guys. And it comes in, let me show you the set, 30% off until midnight tonight. It comes in this set. It's called Be My Valentine Tags. And I just think that you can use that any time of year. I don't think it just has to be for Valentine's Day. All right, so I still have to distress those, but let me get the truck on the third one. I'm gonna look real quick and see if there are comments. Christy says, I learn more every time I watch the ambassadors, right? Oh, this isn't dry yet and it's scratched. It was wet right there and I scratched it. So I'm gonna go in with my pink. All right, we're gonna have to pull the hairdryer out here, girls and guys. We got a little bit of an emergency. I can't stencil on there just yet. So I'm gonna come in with a little paintbrush. Let me find one. It doesn't matter. I just need a little paintbrush because I'm gonna take just a little bit of paint. Just a little bit. I want to fix that. I don't want that showing, that black. I don't need it to be perfect, but I didn't need that. That was obviously a black scratch. I scratched it right there. So I'm just dabbing in a little tiny bit of that pink to cover that up. And to soften the edges where I dabbed, I'm just gonna brush really softly around that so that it looks like it's more uniform with the rest of it. This, I need to give this more time to dry while I'm at it since I'm here. This is, there's still some black showing through here, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more paint. Since I'm already here, I might as well. I'm gonna take the blow power mode. All right. Beth says I'm frozen. So does Kathy. Linda says broadcast interrupted. Can you guys get me now? Let me know if you come back on. Hello, hello. See, on my iPad, hey Donna, on my iPad it's showing just fine. Denise says, love how if there's a little mistake, the scratches you show how to fix. Oh good, I'm glad, Denise. That's the whole idea. All right, it's not frozen on my iPad, so can you guys just comment if everybody can let me know if you can see and hear me? Will you let me know that? I'm back. I'm back. Thank you, Kathy, for telling me that. I'm multitasking. I'm drying and I'm covering my paint at the same time. Oh, good, Robin. Yay, I'm back. Mimi, thank you for telling me that. Nancy, thank you. Oh, you guys, make sure you're doing this so we get folks back on here with us. We got 216 viewers, which is amazing and so fantastic. All right, we're gonna give this a blast. I'm just trying to dry it so I don't, see that's where my scratch was, is right there. It's right there. Can you see it? just like that little spot right there. And I think my paint was just a little thick, and when I scratched it, I'm gonna come back with one more blast of new brush because I put that other one in the water already. Just trying to fill that in so it doesn't, I don't know why that's bugging me. And perfectly perfect, right, Grace? Just accept it. Just accept it. All right, here we go. One more time. All right, this is all gonna come together really soon here, guys. I promise. Oh, Beth says, you are fantastic. You were frozen, but you are back. Thank you, Lord. I mean it because I think it was because my phone went in low power mode. All right, so I'm on a cool setting. I'm blasting it a lot, but it's a cool setting. I really want to hit that spot. Oh, look at my fingers. Lovely. This is called the acrylic paint manicure. Just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, if you've come to a place where you want me to look good and my paintings to come out good, you come to the wrong place because I am not that girl. This is, I'm going to call that, I love it. I've got the land of offload. I've got wonky going on. And now I have the acrylic paint manicure. So fancy. You guys, is the winter hard on your nails? And you're like, my nails break so bad. If anybody has a secret, I'm taking a biotin, just a side note, please, just side note. Can we just talk for a minute? I'm taking a biotin gummy, like it's a gummy that you take every day, and it's for hair, nails, and skin. And I really just need it for my nails. That look at how bad they are. They break all the time in the winter, especially. It's probably because I drink too much coffee and not enough water, but I refuse to give it up. Just saying. All right, so if anybody has a gummy or a vitamin that you use or a secret, please tell me. Because I could have longer acrylic paint manicure. At least my nails would be longer, right? I got no nails. Just a girl in her craft hands. Mimi, somebody write that down. Mimi, private message me that because I got to make some t-shirts with these little phrases that I got. It's the cold. Nancy thinks it's the cold. It's so bad. Dana says it's very hard. Yeah, Cynthia says mine are awful. Yep, everyone knows I'm a crafter, right? From the paint on my hands. Acrylic French manicure, right, Lori? Because it's just on the tips. I love it. You girls are great. You girls are awesome. Okay, so don't forget, if you order these 3 sets that I'm using today by midnight, you're going to get them for 30% off. So those of you who are just coming on, if you don't have a whole lot of stencils or you don't have these ones and you want to order them, do it by tonight, midnight. You'll get 30% off. After that, you'll still get 10% off. But 30 is better than 10 when we're talking discounts. It's not when we're talking about our weight. But it is when we're talking discounts. Mimics and it kind of flows. It goes with the flow here. All right, so I think I got it centered. I could tape it down, but I don't. I usually just hold it. I'm going into my land of offload here. I'm going to load up my brush again. I'm going to stipple because I really like how bright that turned out on the other one. So I'm just going to go up and down. This truck, I'm just going to point out, I'm going to pick this up really close so you can see. It has a ton of little intricate details on it. I like the idea of stippling on here more than going back and forth because even while you're trying to hold it, those tiny little really thin lines can move around on you if your brush is moving back and forth with it. So I like stippling so that I'm not moving those just straight up and down. I'm not moving those little tiny plastic lines out of the way, like they're not being budged at all. So on this one, I'm stippling too. I tell you the why so that you understand. This is just my reasoning. And you guys, I am not perfect. Believe me, I'm not perfect. I'm just telling you the things that I've learned or the tips and tricks that work for me. And then if you watch another brand ambassador or another crafter, or you have your own way of doing it and it works for you, then stick with it. But I like to tell you my thought patterns so that you understand why I went from little circles to the straight up and down. That's why, because these have such fine little intricate details and I don't want those moving around on me. Plus, I get a brighter white if I keep doing this and I keep filling it in with the up and down. I get a brighter white color, which is, I really want it to be a huge contrast from the dark pink. It's harder to get a contrast on the light pink. It's harder to do that. So you need more paint. You need more layers or you need more paint. If you go with just one quick light layer, you're not going to see it. You have to get a really thick layer of paint. All right, here we go. A couple of my hearts here need some help on the ends. The tip, this part of my heart, the circular part, they're not filled in all the way. I can see some pink. I can see some pink on this tire. So I'm gonna add some more paint. I'm not offloading a ton. I'm making sure that it's not wet, but I still want to make sure I have a lot of white paint in that brush, in those brush bristles. All right, here we go. I'm gonna hinge this back. Let's see what we got here, friends. Oh, it's so stinking cute. I don't care who you are or what your name is. That is cute stuff, right? Do you like it, you guys? When I paint, it takes off my nail polish, right, Julie? So especially if you're getting into like finishes or things like that, if you're doing top coats. Everyone knows I'm a crafter. Who said I love this project? Maria, thank you. You guys, if you love it, you're getting value from it. Please do that. Please sprinkle the love so other folks can do it. If you're new here, we have 228 viewers. If you are new to the Comfy Nest, do me a favor and type in #new so I can give you a huge shout out. And there should be a little button somewhere on the screen or close by, especially when this is done. Hit your notifications tab and change your notifications so that you get my lives. So when I go live, you get a notification. That's super helpful. Do the same for Essential Stencil. In the description, I also gave you the code that you would have to put in your phone, your cell phone, if you want to get a text when Essential Stencil goes live. That's not just for me. That's for all of the Essential Stencil brand ambassadors. Okay, here's my board. My board was painted black. It already had this distressing. I used the biggest of the three in the 3-set stencil of the buffalo plaids to put a scratchy white on it. Now I have my 3 hearts. Here's my thought, here's my plan, and actually this is going to be hard to hold up, but here's my plan. This is my plan on here. Okay, but these are too perfect, so I'm going to sand them down a little bit. My paint is too perfect here, and actually I might do 2 things, but let's just see. It's developing. This is a developing story, just like on CNN or Fox News. You can say developing as a developing story. This one is scratchy enough. It's just kind of by the nature of the way I did the buffalo plaid, it's scratchy enough. I still need to where is my, I just have a very fine grit. What is this? 120 sanding paper. It's not a coarse one, it's a fine grit. I want to distress, but I want to distress the pink. I don't want to distress. This is what these looked like. These were just plain wooden hearts made out of wood with this color wood. Like, I don't even know. They might be pine. I'm not sure. I'm not a wood expert. But that's the color, the original color of the wood. I painted them black, the fronts and the sides. And now what I want to show up here, I want the black to show up. So I'm going to try to achieve this with this. If I push really hard, or if I use a sandpaper that's too coarse, you're going to go through to the wood, and this is what you're going to see, is you're going to see this white. And I really actually want to see the black. Now, if the white shows, it's not the end of the world because it's going to match the board. But if I go really lightly, it's just going to start to take some of that paint off the edge so that I can see some black. The other way that, oh, it's working perfectly. See right there? Can you see that? The other way I can achieve that look is by just going in with a black paintbrush. And I may go in with white here. I may add some white to these. But can you see? I painted it black. And now I'm just scratching off some of that black paint. Sometimes you don't have to use your sandpaper. Sometimes you can just use a rag, and depending on the type of paint that you have, you can, this is called wet distressing, and I can wet distress this pink off of the top sometimes. It depends on, see how much paint is coming off? These paints, these mineral paints, these clay-based mineral paints, they work really good for wet distressing because you can usually get some of that pink off without having to use the sandpaper. The sandpaper, the danger with the sandpaper is you can press so hard that you go through to the wood. If I don't want to do that, and this is a great example right there. You can see the black paint coming through the pink. That's what I want. That's the look I want. So I'm going to wet distress, you guys. I'm not even going to use my sandpaper. I'm going to come in. I showed you, as an aside, here, this is like Grace's lessons 101. Okay, when I did this one and this heart, I came in with paint and I painted it on the edges with black and white. I had the pink heart, same color pink, and I came in with a brush with black and white paint and I brushed on black and white. This one, instead of brushing on, I'm rubbing off by wet distressing so that I get to the black. Okay, see that? I love that look. I love that look. I don't know about you, but I love it. Okay, so let me look at comments while I put this down. I'm going to keep wet distressing because this is going to take me a couple minutes. It's going to take me a couple minutes, y'all. But you can see how it's getting on my... And actually, I really like this rag. It wasn't all painted up. I'm going to switch my rags. I have this little... This was like a, I don't know, like a t-shirt or something that I cut up. And I've been using it on my chalkboard to erase the chalk. Doesn't matter. I need to get a little bit of the fabric wet. And then I can come in here and I can peel back or brush off some of this pink so that the black shows through. Oh, I love that look. I just think it's so pretty. Do you guys like this? Tell me. Not everybody likes the style, and that's okay. I'm not offended if you don't like the style. Cheryl says, I like the wet distressed look. I love that one. I just saw the video on that page. I want to watch it. Oh, on the one with the heart, the one behind me, that round palette. Isn't it cute? That was so fun to do. If you guys, I don't know if any of you are on Instagram, but Essential Stencil, they're starting to post some of the videos on Instagram. And you know, Instagram, you can only do, the key is to have shorter videos. So they've been like speeding up our projects and then showing them on Instagram. And it is so fun to see them come together in a really speedy way. Okay. Here I had already sanded and now I'm wet distressing, and you can start to see the wood color is coming through there. And it's okay. It's just, this is what you have to pay attention to. If you're going for a look and you want to wet distress, a couple of things that'll help you. The base paint on here is not a clay-based paint. It's not a mineral paint. I actually used this. This is the black that I put on the hearts, okay? General Finishes, pitch black, water-based glaze effects. I don't know. I can't even explain it to you, but this stuff is more like a stain. So you can't rub it off as easily as a mineral or a clay-based paint. I put this, I could have used black acrylic paint, but I didn't. I wanted this because it seeps into the wood more than paint does. So if you use like a glaze or a stain underneath, and then an acrylic, like a water-based paint, a chalk paint, a mineral paint, a clay-based paint. This is a clay-based paint. If you use that on the top, you should be able to wet distress very easily the top color without losing that bottom color, because the bottom color is more of a stain than it is a paint. Okay, I'm loving this because I'm starting to get some of the wood grain look on the edges here, so it looks really rustic. This is why, too, it didn't really matter if my edges were perfect with the pink paint, because I knew I was going to come in here and wet distress. Okay, so this does take a little longer than what I did with the other heart, which was come in with white and black paint and add it to the edges. It does take a little longer, but I haven't done wet distressing in a long time. I forgot how rewarding it is. Now I have to decide my heart cleavage. Okay, I'm coming up with new words here. I got wonky. I got the land of offload. I got my manicure, and now I got my heart cleavage. I don't know why my mind works this way, you guys, but you're getting the true Gracie here. My heart cleavage. So in this place right here, we'll call it the heart cleavage. I could either leave it and like just distress down to the cleavage, or should I go below the cleavage and give them a little peek here on the point, if you know what I mean. I don't know what other words to use. This is just how my mind works. You guys, I haven't even had any wine. This is all coffee talking. This is coffee and grace. Heart cleavage. Somebody write that down. That's another one of my words. Okay. I think I'm going to give you a little heart cleavage. I'm going to go down a little bit on the point here. It's just a style decision. Like, do you want it? Oh, I just did a little bit too much there. A little bit too much cleavage, girls. I want a little bit of that point to show right there. See? Just a little bit. So you see how it's like a softer way to distress. And it's going to look really obvious on the dark pink because these are the twoest high contrast, okay? I'm going to go in now. I have to do the other two hearts. So let me go in. Hold on a minute. I want to show you something because this makes my point. When I say heart cleavage, my husband will say, that's perfect. Joanne, use the word. I got to get some t-shirts made with this stuff. Below the cleavage. Yeah, right? So below the cleavage. I want to show you something really quick. Just because design-wise, here's where my mind was going. Okay, so I have my board. It started out, it was already distressed. So I knew I wanted to do something with this distressing on whatever went on top. So I went with the scratchy looking buffalo plaid. And then I wanted to make sure that my hearts were also distressed. And I wanted to keep with the black, right? So I want to just point something out to you, just for the sake of comparison. The heart that I did that I've already wet distressed, look at the difference between the way that one looks on my board and the one that I have not yet distressed. This one's too clean. It's too perfect. That's too perfect. It doesn't match. It doesn't look right on this board because everything is distressed and scratchy. It's really good to go in and make your hearts that you're putting on top match everything else that's distressed and scratchy. This one's just too perfect. Can you see the difference between the two, right? This one definitely looks better, the one that I've already wet distressed. So let's go finish the wet distressing and then we can see about how to tack these on here, which I don't have a plan for that yet. We'll figure it out. I'm gonna go to a new place because on my, my rag, I don't want this dark red getting on here. So I'm gonna pick a new place on my rag, a clean place. I just kind of wrap it around my fingers and then wet. This is probably another reason why my nails are always horrible because they're always in paint. Now, you guys, the other thing is I did sand down these wooden hearts when they come from craft deals. There's one part of it, like one half of it, one side is smoother and one side is a little bit choppier from the saw, especially around the round portions. I pre-sanded, I took a coarse paper actually and pre-sanded the edges, so I shouldn't get a splinter by doing this. So make sure if you're going to do these hearts from, or any shape, from anywhere, but with craft deals, you're probably, you can get a discount using my code. Go ahead and use my code. It's the Comfy Nest or my link. It'll automatically apply that discount if you're going to order these hearts. They come in all different sizes. I just ordered a bunch of sizes because I wasn't sure what I wanted or how I was going to use them. But if you're going to do that, make sure that do yourself a favor and just sand the edges if you're going to wet distress. Otherwise, you'll get a bunch of splinters. The more water you have on your, the more wet it is, the easier it is to distress. But you do have to apply a little pressure. I mean, I'm not lying here. I have to apply a little bit of pressure. I'm pushing down. The more water that you use, the easier this paint comes up. So if it dries off, just go ahead and wet it up again. And don't worry about your paint being perfect on your edges if you plan to wet distress. Because all you're going to do is be wet, you know, pulling it off again. You're going to go in there with a rag and pull it all off. I'm changing, oh, I can't, my thumb. This thumb hurts because it's got like a crack from being the cold weather. Eck, I can't use my thumb. It's too much. All right, we're getting to the cleavage, girls. It's getting X-rated in here. R-rated, maybe I should say. Can you distress with baby wipes too? Debbie, I've never done it. I don't know. Go for it. Give it a whirl. Let me know. Report back to us. I don't use baby wipes in my craft room because I don't want the oils on my, I use disinfectant wipes a lot to clean my stencils and my hands. I don't use baby wipes because I don't want those oils. They have skin conditioners in them and I just don't want those on my tools. So, but that doesn't mean you can't. Like I always say, this is another one of my phrases. I'm not the boss of you. You do whatever you want. You're not the boss of me. I run my craft room the way I want to. You run yours, your little craft space or craft bucket the way you want to. This part right here is being really stubborn. I want it to be more distressed than that. It's just being stubborn. All right, let's see. More water. Water is your friend in this process. We're wet distressing. You guys, I'm working up a sweat over here. Clorox wipes. Should we try it? Let me grab one. Hang tight. Maybe it'll come off faster. Let's see. All right, girls, you're challenging me. I just use, it doesn't matter the brand, right? I have all in my house. I have Clorox, I have Lysol brand, I have this brand. Whatever they have the most of at the store or a sale on is what I go with. Let's try it. Let's see. It's not going to hurt the board. I mean, the board's not going to get hurt at all, but let's see. I'm not seeing any difference in terms of the amount of pressure that I still have to put a lot of pressure. So, and look at my black is coming up too. Oh, I guess a little black was coming up on this one too. I just assume save my disinfectant wipes because I have to buy them. This is an old t-shirt that I ripped up. If I'm going to have to apply the same amount of pressure, I'm not wasting my disinfectant wipes. I'm too frugal for that. Ooh, that's pretty. I'm like pushing really hard, you guys, to get this look. I love that you can see the graininess, and I'm going to wetter parts of my, once the water is used up on my rag, then I just move it around to get to a point that's a part that's wetter, more wet. Oh my gosh. I love that you can see all that graininess right there. I think that's really cute. Okay, I'm going to do this edge because it's not matching the rest of it. It needs more. Whew! This is like my workout for the day, girls. All right, let's see. Should I do more on this side? Come on. You're being stubborn. There we go. Perfectly imperfect, right? They don't have to match completely. I want you to show you something. See, this is like a line of where the water was. Just all you have to do is go in and just give that a quick wipe. I need a clean rag because now I'm getting the pink paints and the black paints mixed in. Clean rag. I'm going to go in and just give that a quick wipe. Be careful because your clay-based paints, they smudge when you get them wet. Okay, that one's done. This one is the last one. I'm going to use this one because it has, do you see how it has the texture to it? Let's see if we have any more luck using this one on the little pink one, because it does have more texture to it. For this one, the black should show up a lot because it's such a light pink. There we go. My cans are, I have my 2 buckets over here with my paintbrushes in them with the water, and they're like clanking together. I'm sorry this is taking so long, you guys. Let me look at some comments. Thank you, Janice. She says you're doing an awesome job. Please, if you guys don't mind, let's see. We have 216 viewers. Let's see if we can get that back up a little bit in the last few minutes here. Then I'm gonna go ahead and pull some names. We gotta put this together. I'm gonna take, oh, see what's happening? It's taking my white paint off. It's wiping it right off. This paint is notorious for this. This DIY, the Debbie's DIY, this is why I don't like this paint. Because I could take this rag and wipe all of that paint right off. Look at it, totally wiped off my buffalo plaid. It totally got rid of it. I'm gonna finish my distressing. I'm gonna have to go back in here and fix my buffalo plaid. This is the only reason I don't like DIY. I have a couple of pots of their paint, and I'm trying to use up that Debbie's DIY. The next time I pull that out, one of you yell at me, please. Say, Grace, put it away. Especially if you want to distress, look at, it's completely coming off the edges there. If you want to wet distress, do not use Debbie's DIY. Debbie's DIY is a great paint if you're trying to blend. It's beautiful for furniture if you're using any kind of blending, but a lot of women use it to paint furniture and to do blended techniques on their furniture. It blends really well, but it wipes off. Look at, almost all my buffalo plaid is gone. I'm going to get some more of this distressing here. See how hard I have to push on the pink to get it to go away? That is the Dixie Belle. The white is that Debbie's DIY. Good gravy. It's like come right off my board. It's come right off. Okay, I've got enough of that distressing, I think, but I have to come back in and fix because look at what happened. It took away all of my buffalo plaid. Debbie, I'm mad at you. You didn't play nice. All right, let me just fix the a little bit these edges. I'm going to try, oh, it's going the wrong way. I'm going to try to match it up and just fill in some of these edges. So just be patient with me, ladies. Thank you for the patience. We're going to just add a little more paint. Debbie, you're a naughty girl. You're not working nice with me. Just be patient with me. So these are the things we learn when we work on our projects. I'm going to stipple because it will be faster. I got to focus on the edges because that's where my paint disappeared. And I don't want to lose my distressing, so I've got to be very careful. I just distressed. All I'm trying to do is get my buffalo plaid to show up again. Look at this. Am I doing this wrong? No, I got it right. Yep. Just this one part I missed right here. I got to add a little bit more right in there. So we're going to go here. It's not a lot. I'm just going to add a little bit so it doesn't look like, it looks like I wiped the paint off right there. That's exactly what it looks like. So I want to just add some more paint. There we go. All right, now it's back. Now it's back. Phew. I still have a little line here, but I'm not even going to worry about that. Oh my goodness, Debbie. I am working, Luella, I am really working hard on this one. Thank you for recognizing that. All right, you guys. Here we go. So now we can, I'm going to put this aside. No, I'm not going to put this aside just yet. What I'm wondering on my board, my next decision is, here we go. Here's how it's going to look. Let me see if I can get this in here completely for you guys because my camera's at a kind of a weird angle. There we go. All right. So here's what I'm trying to achieve like this. Okay. I'm not going to put them wonky. Sometimes I do the wonky thing, right? That's me. I like wonky, but these, I don't want these wonky. I want them straight on like this. What do we think? Now the question is, should I add a little white? I think I'm going to add a little bit of white to these edges so that they're more, they match a little bit more with the other parts. So I'm not going to add a lot. This already has some very dry white on there. I'm just going to come in and on the edges here, it's going to be really faint, you guys, but it's just going to be enough so that it makes them all, I feel like it's going to make them all coordinate. Does that make sense? So that they all look like they match. So I just came in there with a little bit of white. It's very faint, but now they won't look so perfect. They won't look so perfect. If I come in, I need a little more. Where's my tin foil? Let me go to the Land of Offload and see. Nope, it's all too dry right now, but Debbie's DIY, if I wet it, it's gonna reactivate it. Oh, now I'm gonna have really wet. That Debbie, I'm telling you. All right, I'm just gonna come on the edges here. It's really wet now. It's too wet, too wet, too wet. I can just tell by the way it's coming on my heart. Can you see what I'm doing, you guys? I don't want to be too close, but I want to be close enough that you can see. All right, here we go. That's doing it. Just a little bit. I'm not going to be as wild as I was on the flowers that are the hearts that I did on that other board, but I'm going to add just a little so it really looks like they're coordinated. See that? Just a little scratchy white on the edges. Whoops, that one I went too far in, but that's okay. I'll just do it over here so it looks like I meant to do it. That's how I fix my mistakes. All right, there we go. Now it looks like it's like really soft and dreamy to me. I don't know. Is that the right word? Soft and dreamy? Do you like it, you guys? Tell me what you think. Okay, so now here's my options. I usually, and what I did on the heart that's up on the wall, I used wood glue. And if you put the wood glue on the back, I usually press it down firmly and then I put a heavy can of paint on it and leave it overnight. That's usually what I do. although, I don't know. I was gonna tack these on with a tack instead. Now, let's just glue them. I'll just show you how I do it. I wanna make sure that equally I have the same amount of space here on the bottom as I do on the top, and I can use my buffalo plaid cubes to kind of figure the distance away from the top that I want the hearts, and then this one just has to fit in the middle, if that makes any sense. What do you guys think? Do you like it? All right, I'm gonna draw for winners in a minute here. I'll show you how to do one of these cubes. I'm gonna open my paint. I do it kind of like a Mod Podge sometimes. So here, if I use my Land of Offload here, and I put a little bit of glue on here, sometimes I just use a paintbrush. So I'll take just a big brush, bigger brush, you know. This is a brush that I don't care too much about. I don't use it to paint a lot. And then I'll sometimes just, I mean, sometimes I use the cover, but what's been happening for my cover lately is it's gotten glued shut, so I can't even get any paint out of there. So it's okay to come in with a brush, paintbrush, and really liberally add your glue. Try not to get oodles of it on the edges so that when you push it down, it doesn't seep out. You don't want glue coming out from your heart. So I try to put it close to the edge, but not right on the edge, because I don't want, when I push it down, you know what I mean? I don't want the glue to come seeping out. I'm going to do this one big heart with you guys so you can see how I do it. And then I'll draw the names of the winners, because you guys have been so patiently waiting. And then I'll do the other two, and then I'll take a picture and submit it to Essential Stencil so they can put it out on the website and on the Instagram thing and all that jazz. All right, so you just want to get a liberal amount of glue. A lot, that means a lot. And then I got like a little wood splinter there coming off. I'm gonna flip it over. I have to straighten this, guys, so I can see just spacing wise that I get it right. I don't want to touch down until I know exactly where I'm putting it. This is the center, this one here, and I want to go about one block, not completely, but one block up. And then I want to make sure I'm straight. I'm going to drop it down. And then, oh, I got some white paint on the top. I'm going to push it down firmly with my hand. And then this is what I do. I put something really heavy on top. I might even put two of these on top or two on both edges so that they both stick down really well. And then I will leave that overnight to dry. And then in the morning, it'll be good to go. The wood glue will keep, because it's all wood, it'll keep it in place just fine. You can come from the back end then, if you wanted to, with a staple gun, and you could tack a staple through. These hearts are thick enough that you could very easily get a staple through. The back of this board is thin, the back of the board that I'm putting it on. You could just easily get a nail bred through the two layers to do that if you felt like that was better and safer for you with your project. All right, let me look quick at comments and then we'll pull some names for some winners. You guys are the bomb diggity for staying for as long as you are. You are the bomb diggity if you have been sprinkling the love. Thank you so much. Essential Stencil and I both thank you, because it really helps to just introduce us to so many more people, and we appreciate that. Thank you. Janet says adorable. Awesome project today. Thank you, Christy. I hope you learned something new. The wet distressing, I have not done that in a long time. And I wasn't planning on doing that, but it worked out better with the paints that I was using. So I hope I was able to describe that well enough for you guys. The baseboard, Connie, I bought it years ago from like a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby. I bought it a long time ago, like almost a year ago, probably. It's been sitting in my craft room for a long time. At the beginning of the video, I showed you the label on the back of the board. It's SPC, which I think is a co-op. I went on their website to see if I could buy more of these boards, and I can't buy directly from them. I think SPC sells to like big box stores like Walmart and Michael's and stuff like that. I don't think you can buy this brand directly from their website, but you could try to find, it's just a board that I got a long time ago. So I'm sorry, I can't tell you. You could do this project on a regular plywood board. I mean, it doesn't have to be on this type of board. You could do it on any board. You would just have to recreate that distressing, painting it black and then distressing back the edges until you see the wood. Good morning, Wendy. Thanks for joining in. All right, let's see. Love the shading with the white edges. Me too. Isn't that cute? It's so subtle, but it just softens it up a bit. You could add more white if you wanted it whiter, like I did that one. I went crazy with the white and black on this one, and I did that with a paintbrush. I took a really tiny little paintbrush and added more. This one I did it much more subtle. So I'm so glad you like that. All right, let's pull some names. Let's pull some names. I've got to get a pencil and a paper. Do I have paper somewhere so I can write down names? Hang tight. This will work. It's like the back of a cardstock thing. Here, this will work. I'm going to write down the names, the 3 people that I pick randomly from the comments. I'm going to choose names of winners. You guys need to email Essential. It's support@essentialstencil.com. Email them your name, your email address, and your mailing address, and they will send you a set of stencils, okay? I'm going to randomly choose. I'm going to go like through all the comments. I'm going to scroll, and I'm doing it on my iPad here below, so you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm going to choose 3 winners. Thank you for everybody for being here. And I wanted to tell you one last thing. So let me pick the first winner is Janice Taylor. So Janice Taylor, you are a winner. Congratulations, Janice. Make sure you email them with that information. Second winner, we've got Melissa Grove. Oh, and Melissa says, the comment that Melissa wrote that won her the stencil says new to #Essential Stencil. Oh, welcome. Big shout out. And you won. Melissa, you won. That's so exciting. Okay, I wanted to tell you one last thing before I got you guys offline. This month in my craft therapy group, let me just show you real quick. We are creating these farmhouse beads in my craft therapy club. It's a membership club. Where these ladies come together with me monthly and we do one live workshop, and I'm teaching them how to make these in all different variations. They're just fantastic and great for decorating, putting on a tray, something like that. You can do them all sorts of colors. I created the medallion on this one. I made this medallion and painted it. I'm going to show them how to make these. If you want to join us, you can join just for that night, or you can join the club on a monthly basis. It's $20 a month or $20 to do the workshop. You'll have access to it for a week afterwards if you just want to do the one. If you sign up for the monthly membership, you'll have access to this for as long as you stay a member, and the 10 other projects that we've already done since I opened the club in April. So there are 10 other craft projects sitting in there that you would have access to that library. So if you want to, just let me know. Private message me and I'll get you hooked up with that. Our third winner, let's pick a third winner. Teresa, she says, I love the pink and the gray together. Her name is Teresa Grand Boy. It's spelled B-O-I-S at the end. Uh-oh, I lost you. And her last name is Urke. Urke, am I saying it correctly, Teresa? I hope so. Urke. I-H-R-K-E. So these 3 winners, Janice Taylor, Melissa Grove, and Teresa Urke, I'm going to send your names to Essential Stencil. You must just... all you have to do, email them at support@essentialstencil.com with your name, your mailing address, and your email address, and they will send you a set of stencils. Everybody else, thank you for joining. Be sure you come back again. Next time we do these every Monday through Thursday, and I alternate mine every Thursday. I'm on every Thursday at either 11 a.m. here on the Essential or the Comfy Nest page, or at 8 p.m., and these are Central Standard Times, on the Essential Stencil page. So you can join anytime. If you want to not miss anything, make sure you like and follow the Comfy Nest with Grace Kurtz, my page, and then make sure you change your notification settings so you get one when I go live. I'm planning on, I do have a lot of projects lined up that I want to do live just to showcase, and I have the project I'm so excited about this project for the craft therapy group. My members there, I'm going to show them how to make the tassels. We're going to do different variations of it. I'm going to show them how to do it with a medallion on the end, or you can do 2 tassels on them. We're going to color some beads. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of fun in that group. If you'd like to join me, just message me and make sure you say Craft Therapy Club so that I know what you're interested in. Sometimes people will just send me their address and I'm like, okay, what can I help you with, love? So make sure you tell me where you found me and what you're asking about. You guys have a beautiful, blessed day. I'm going to check for the last couple of comments to see if there's anything I can answer here. If anybody any last minute questions, and otherwise we'll hang it up. Congrats to the winners, Kathy says. That's sweet. You guys are so sweet to each other. Watching and learning, Marcia says. I've had fun with that. Good. And Teresa says, oh my gosh, I won. I'm glad I said it perfectly. Thank you for giving me that validation. I never want to get people's names wrong, but it's sometimes hard. They're names I haven't seen before. So congratulations, Teresa. All right, you guys, have a beautiful, blessed day. We'll catch up later. Thanks for joining, and I so appreciate you.